As Laura said, we're doing remote auditing for C-Corps right now, and remote audits for Corps are going to start in June. So I've had a couple member companies that I've been working with that have had a little bit of trouble navigating how to get this done. So I just wanted to throw something together so that everybody could kind of see what was going on. So like I said, the SCSA auditors are now conducting remote C-Corps audits via Teams. So you'll have to download Teams on your computer. It's a free download, very easy to use. And that way the auditor can check in with you for C-Corps for the morning meeting, as well as the closeout. For Corps, it's going to be the morning meeting, sorry, the opening meeting, the closing meeting. We're going to be doing interviews and observations that way as well. When the Corps audits start, if the members are having trouble with that, please reach out to us and I'll put something together for that as well. I just wanted to touch on the documentation because, as I said, right now all we're doing is the C-Corps audits. So all the program documentation, including your health and safety manual, will have to be uploaded to the FTP site. So basically, you're going to take a digital copy of your manual, put it in so that the auditor can see it. They're also going to want to see an organizational chart. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. You can basically do it on a Word document if you really want to. We want to see senior management, supervisors, workers, subcontractors. And like I said, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. You don't have to actually make the chart with little boxes, just so that everybody within the company who's doing work for the company is recognized on there and the auditor can see what kind of paperwork they have and that they're included with. So after booking your audit, the company contact will receive instructions from our program services department on how everything's going to work. So how the audit will be conducted, what kind of documentation is needed by the auditor. If it's for a Corps audit, interviews and observations will be covered in that as well. So this will also include the login and password for the FTP site. Now I'm going to use the word FTP a lot today. And basically what that means is File Transfer Protocol Site. So it's a secure site where your documentation will be uploaded. Only you and the auditor in charge of the audit are going to be able to see that paperwork. So once you upload it, the auditor will be able to go in. He'll be able to go in. Nobody else will be granted access to that. So if you've registered for Corps or C-Corps, you should have an advisor that's been assigned to your company. So there should be an auditor or an advisor rather that's reached out to you to help you with your program documentation. So they will be the point of contact for helping you to upload any file documentation or program documentation that you need for the audit. So just reach out to your advisor and they'll be more than happy to help you. If you have further questions after this presentation, you can reach out to your advisor. We have our contact here, so www.scsaonline.ca/contact. Okay, so for the documentation, basically what's going to happen is you'll receive an email with written instructions on how to upload your documentation 3 to 4 weeks before the audit is scheduled. Okay, so that should give you enough time to upload everything that you need. It is beneficial to your company to upload all documentation to your home or work computer before beginning the upload to the FTP site. Okay, so we want to make sure that we have everything scanned in to your local drive. It's a really good idea to set up files like I've shown here. So this is what the FTP site's going to look like. The top picture there. So we have the company health and safety manual. You can just drag and drop that right into that file. Okay. Then we have our organizational chart. Again, you can make that a Word document. You can play around with some boxes and little tree looking thing like a family tree and throw everybody's names in there if you want. Whatever is easiest for you. Next, we have the program documentation. So when you open this file, you're going to see these files. So what I would suggest to you as an advisor is to set these files up on your computer and then start scanning your documentation into those corresponding files. One thing I also wanted to bring up is, so let's say for number 1, you have your health and safety policy. If that's going to be in your company health and safety manual, you don't need to upload it twice. Okay, we don't need you to do that. Alternately, if you have a digital copy of your health and safety manual and you want to show that you have been signing your policies, procedures, etc. throughout, let's say if it's for a recert audit for a 3-year, you can put those signed policies in these corresponding files and then the auditor will be able to find them and then you don't have to worry about signing your digital copy of your manual. That makes sense. And then it's pretty straightforward. Like you have your hazard assessments, right? So we'll scan everything, put them into a file. You can organize them by date if you want, and then you can just drag and drop them into this file. If you are wondering after this presentation what these files, what you need to number them as, if you go to scsaonline.ca/resources/safety documents, you will find a core internal audit tool there. This document will have everything that's going to be included in the audit, and it's really beneficial for you to have this tool for your company. So go to our website, download the core internal audit tool, and literally everything that the auditor is going to be looking for is going to be in that document. All the corresponding section numbers will be in there, so you'll be able to set up your files like this. And then, yeah, like I said, you can just save them on your local computer under, say, number 2 hazard assessments, and then literally drag and drop that into the FTP site itself. So alternate means, if you're concerned that you do not have time to upload all of your documentation, you can consider using a third-party business such as Staples or any other home office place that does that scanning. They will scan that documentation in for you. They can email it to you. If it's a rather large file, they might throw it on a thumb drive for you. And they can scan this in a fraction of the time. If you're at home, if you're working at home, like a lot of us are right now, and you have a tiny little scanner that does 1 page at a time, this might be the best option for you, because they have those industrial scanners where they can just shoot all those papers through in a matter of minutes. They can upload that to a thumb drive for you. You can bring it home, and then you can just drag and drop into the corresponding files that the auditor is going to be looking for. There is going to be a cost associated with this. I didn't look into what it is, and it's probably going to depend on how much paperwork you have. But if you think about paying someone for 3 days to scan your documentation in, as opposed to paying X amount of dollars for somebody to scan it in within, say, 2 hours, I mean, it's going to be a decision that you as an owner or a manager is going to have to make, but it is an option. Again, alternately, if your company is using a digital platform already, such as SiteDocs or some other safety management program, if you grant our auditor access to that site, they can look at all your paperwork there. If you're doing digital copies, just grant them a password rather, they can log in and they can see all the documentation that you've been filling out thus far. So for the audit, the SCSA auditor will be the point of contact for help, or sorry, the SCSA advisor. So Bill, myself, Laura, Mike, we have numerous advisors at the association. They're going to be your point of contact for help with uploading the documentation and any other troubleshooting that you may come across up until the date of the audit. The day of the audit, the auditor is going to be your point of contact. So the auditor is going to be checking that FTP site that's been granted to you and the auditor about 1 or 2 weeks before the audit. They're going to check and see if the paperwork has been uploaded. If there's a problem or they don't see any paperwork in there, they're going to reach out to the advisor, and then your advisor is going to reach out to you to see if you're having trouble. Alternately, if you know that you're having trouble, reach out to your advisor and we will be more than happy to help you with whatever we are able to do. Again, your auditor is going to be your point of contact throughout the audit. So if it's a C-Corps audit, it's usually a 1-day. Core audits usually take a little bit longer, but if you're having any trouble during the audit, make sure you reach out to the auditor. You will be granted their contact information. So you'll get that when you have your information that's sent to you with your FTP site and etc. On the first day of the audit, the auditor and senior management are going to have what's called the opening meeting. So the auditor is going to reach out to you on Teams. They're going to introduce themselves, explain to you how the audit's going to work, and then they're basically just going to go through your FTP site and check everything out. There will also be a midday check-in from the auditor to senior management for C-Corps only. So because the core audits take a little bit longer, they'll probably do a daily check-in, whereas with the C-Corps audit is only a 1-day. So they'll do a midday check-in just to see how things are going. If there's anything that they can't find, they'll reach out to you and say, look, I'm having trouble finding this. Maybe it's in a different file. Maybe it got missed when you were doing the uploading, so you should get a chance to get that uploaded if you have time. Then there's going to be a closeout meeting with the auditor and senior management to discuss the findings of the audit. So basically the auditor is going to reach out to you. They're going to say, okay, this is the score. They'll probably run through the sections with you. I haven't sat in on a CCOR remote audit yet. I'm looking forward to that. So if during the audit at any time you have any questions, reach out to your auditor, reach out to your advisor. We're also here to help if there's any concerns. So this process that we're using right now, this remote auditing, we put this in place to protect the health and safety of the SCSA program auditors, as well as our members and members of the public from the spread of COVID-19. So basically we're doing everything that we can to make sure that we're keeping our employees safe, we're keeping our members safe, we're keeping the public safe. So we're trying to reach out and get this done digitally to keep from spreading that COVID-19 virus. Another benefit to this is it's going to save members and non-members money on their audit, because when you do the audit, you pay for the auditor's travel. So if you're a regional company outside Saskatoon or Regina, you're going to be paying mileage for that auditor, meals that they would have during the audit, and then any hotel stays for core audits, because it could take a day or 2 or 3 days to get that audit completed. So by doing this remotely, we're saving our members money. So we're hoping that that's going to be a beneficial thing. We know that this is kind of a change. We appreciate your patience and understanding in this kind of unprecedented time. So if there are any questions or concerns, reach out to your advisor, reach out to your auditor, and we will definitely bring those concerns forward to management. There will be exceptions granted on a case-by-case basis after being discussed with the Program Services Department and SCSA management. So in extraordinary circumstances, if you can't get your documentation uploaded, we can talk about that with Program Services and management, the leadership team. So in closing, the health and safety of our employees and our members is of the utmost importance to us. And again, we appreciate your patience and understanding during this time. We are currently booking audits about 12 weeks in advance. Any of the audits that were booked from the time that the COVID-19 pandemic started up until now are going to be given precedence over audits that are just coming in. So anything that was canceled in this time that we were at home is going to be given kind of the first crack at it. So due to a backlog, we are booking about 12 weeks in advance. So if you want to get your audit booked, reach out to our office. There's usually someone in the Regina office right now, 306-525-0175, or you can email our programs department at scsaprograminfo@scsaonline.ca to book your audit. And again, if you have any troubles, just reach out to your advisor and we will do our absolute best to help you through whatever troubles you are having.